What's happening?
We just beat Barca. Do you know what? I don't give a... Listen, I've seen a lot of rival fans. I'm going to get this off my chest quickly. A lot of rival fans have said, it's only round of 32, it's a playoff, we're acting like we've won the competition and this and that. That might as well be in the final.
You're going to have some tricky games to go.
In a sense of, us and Barcelona were the two biggest teams in the competition.
I mean, no matter what competition you're in, that's generally the case.
It's a Champions League tie, and it was a great spectacle, both games, and we won. Allow us to be happy because we're actually mint now. And that's the actual question we're asking. We are mint. I saw you tweeted that we are mint. But I want to know exactly how mint are we? Like, is it the best we've been in a long, long time, or are we jumping the gun?
As football fans, it is our prerogative to get excited and carried away, and I make no apologies about doing that at any point if I ever do that. None. Yeah. Zero. None. Because this is a pastime, right? Obviously, we've also managed to make it our jobs, but ultimately, this is still a voluntary pastime, yeah? You want that to be the case at all times, that when you're voluntarily giving up your time to indulge yourself in something, you want to be able to get carried away with it. Can you imagine just being logical about it? Football fandom isn't logical. It's romantic and it's excitable. Yeah,
football fandom isn't logical.
Yeah,
I've seen that a lot with Arsenal fans.
Well, that's one extreme of football fandom not being logical. Yeah, and they are a total caricature of a fan base. They're too high when they win and they're too low when they lose, and there's zero sense in the centre. Now, at the start of this week, we were saying, man, and I think we were underestimating 3 wins this week is insane, right? You're keeping the pressure going in the league. You've just beat Barcelona, and then you're going to win a trophy if you can win all of those 3 games. And we're 2 out of 3.
Exactly. And then you've got a lot of people saying Barca are a weakened team and this and that.
They're clear.
They're clearing the league. That last night was the first game they've lost in 18 matches.
And the last team to do it was Bayern Munich. I don't know if you know about them. They're pretty decent.
You cannot play that down. Do you know what I mean? You cannot play down what we achieved in that 2-leg tie. I reckon if we didn't beat them, they'd probably go on to probably win it, in all honesty. And
only us beat us now in this competition.
Honest to God, I think that we've got better.
Who's the next best team in that competition, right? As much as we hate to say it, it's probably Arsenal, right?
Arsenal, right? Yeah. Arsenal the next best, and then I reckon we could beat them on a day. I think we can beat anyone on a day at the moment.
I don't want to see them to the final, though.
Yeah,
can you imagine?
Listen,
from a vibe with 5 point of view, can you imagine,
listen,
mate? Mate.
I'm actually really, really concerned. I don't know if my heart could take a Europa League final against Arsenal, because I'm not sure what I would do with myself if we lose.
Delete all social media?
I'd delete all social media and I'll probably go and hide for months. There's literally no way. Because I know Arsenal fans as well.
Book a holiday for the Monday.
Jarring. Listen, and if you probably
no way am I going in that studio. Not without a bat, at least.
It'll be an absolute nightmare. You know what they do call they call United versus Arsenal is it the social media derby?
Oh, that's minging.
Yeah, they say it's like the 2 loudest like kind of voices on Twitter. So then that's why the especially modern. That's like in the modern world. That's why it got so intense. But other than that, it's just the fact that they're absolute idiots, the most of them. But we have got Betis next. Obviously, we didn't get any reaction. We didn't get any reaction from you.
We get Spanish team in every round.
They do. And we don't have a great record against Spanish teams usually, apart from the last. But I was going to ask you though, like, you've not really reacted to the draw much. We have got Betis. They're around 4th or 5th place in La Liga. Not a bad team, but should win that really. You're going to read out what Fergal McClement says.
So Fergal McClement there dropped in a super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Or sister. How dare me assume. Do you think Arnold replacing Woodward is being overlooked in this turnaround? Woodward goes for Poch and doesn't buy the likes of Martinez Eriksson. He probably sacks the manager in this CR7 situation. I got in a bit of trouble for saying what I thought about Ed Woodward, right? And it was taken a little bit out of context. But I think Ed Woodward was terrible for Manchester United Football Club. He did try to implement this Galacticos sort of era. And the wider point that I was trying to make is, we survived the horrendous disaster in Munich. And 10 years later, we'd managed to rebuild and become European champions again. And when you look at the progress made under the club with spending in excess of £1 billion, what we'd done under Ed Woodward was just take us further and further and further away. And actually, the last 12 months prior to Ten Hag coming in might have been the darkest moment in all of that. I mean, think about that transitional period of I was quite excited when Rangnick came, but I think ultimately the lack of power that Rangnick had just meant that he was just this angry bloke, frustrated at what he couldn't change. So then started gobbing off in press conferences, which exacerbated how bad it was because you're getting all of this negativity coming out constantly. And I think that was about as dark as it had been. And in that time, Woodward left. The European, so you had the European Super League, you had Woodward, you had the chaos under Rangnick, you had players not wanting to even turn up or try, and you're like, Jesus Christ, we are sinking. Arnold comes in, him sitting down with fans alone is such a symbolic thing. As mad as it was in the pub, it was such a symbolic thing. Then he appoints Erik Ten Hag. But the most important thing, you could have appointed Erik Ten Hag under Woodward. The most important thing was I'm appointing Ten Hag, but I'm also empowering Ten Hag to be the manager. Because there's no point being the manager but not being the manager. Ten Hag came to be the manager, but also is the manager. He's not just the guy in the chair, he's actually in charge, and he's able to go, I don't like this, change it. And then people jump and do what he wants. Can you imagine, I can imagine a conversation where Lou Van Gaal goes, can I switch the dugouts around? And they go, why? No. Whereas he goes, such a minor little detail like that, goes, what, switch the dugouts around? And they go, done. No, anything else?
No, it's different. Occasionally clubs do get concerned when they offer managers too much power, in a sense. But I feel like he's been given the right amount, and it looks like he's been backed in a way where his ideas, his talent ID, everyone looks to be buying in, and that comes from the people like Arnold to obviously the players that are playing for him, and just the culture feels very different. I know the title is Ten Hag the best since Fergie? It's in a sense of not what we've achieved or how we've been, but what we look like as a club. When you're watching the United team now, is it the best you've felt about a United team since them days?
I'll flip this question and ask you a question. When we went 1-0 down last night, was you worried?
A little bit, but I'm not as worried as I used to. I was worried, but I thought we could get back in the game. My opinion was, if we score and equalise before half-time, we go on and win, was what my thought process was.
Didn't skip a beat, man. Didn't skip a beat. Thought it was a bullshit penalty. Really soft. But I also think Bruno gave him a decision to make, and you don't do that.
Bruno had a dodgy first 15 minutes. It was a bit,
But from that moment, I kind of was just sitting there going, we will get back into this. We will. Yeah. I knew we would. And arguably, I think we could have scored more than we did do. All right, it ended up being a little bit wavy at the end, but the confidence I have in this team, literally, give me Manchester City in the FA Cup, give me Arsenal, give me Liverpool, I don't care. There isn't a team you can put in front of me right now that we would meet. I mean, Real Madrid, I think would give us a tough time. I also think Bayern Munich would, but we don't meet them in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. You know what I'm saying? So there isn't a team we can meet in any competitions that worries me. Can we meet Arsenal? Yeah. Am I arsed? Nah.
It's true, but obviously you said you weren't concerned you didn't skip a beat. Was you not a little bit nervous, especially after the pen? He started dodgily anyway, the ref, but once he gave the pen away, I immediately thought, I didn't even know about the story that you mentioned. I didn't know that, but I generally always feel like, anyway, you've got to be wary playing against Barcelona in European competition, especially when it comes to referees.
Didier Drogba knows.
No,
that game against Chelsea was
It's not even just that. It's been the case for years.
There was one against Paris Saint-Germain as well.
Yeah.
Didn't they have to win 6 something?
It was so dodgy. Basically, if you're playing Barcelona in European competition, usually, don't be expecting any 50-50 decisions going your way from referees. I don't know what it is with Barcelona and UEFA, but they're very much tied into each other. Because it's not just the Chelsea game, it's not just yesterday, it's every single time that Barcelona are playing in a high-stakes game in a European competition.
There's some controversy.
Yeah, if a referee can help him in some sort of decision, they will. They'll try their best.
Maybe. But guess what?
And it didn't matter.
Didn't matter last night, did it?
I mean?
So he gives a shit. Worry about it next season when we face him in the Champions League.
Yeah, we definitely.
Until then, park it. Carry on with your day.
But I do think that's
I didn't feel worried in the slightest. There's a lot of comments at the moment. Keep getting your questions in. There's a lot of comments at the moment talking about Marcus's injury. I'll bang out a text in a bit and try and find out if there's anything go on in with that. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a bit of gamesmanship going into the game. I say I wouldn't be surprised. I'm also lumping on all my hopes that that's the case.
Yeah.
Because if he is injured, I worry about that a little bit.
It's interesting though because he come off the pitch and I think Ten Hag did ask him if he was all right, and he looked like he said he was fine, but you never know. I think,
as we know, the guy's always going to say he's fine.
Honest to God, I think if it wasn't the final of the Carabao Cup and it wasn't a Wembley game, I don't think Rashford would play. If it was just a Premier League game, I think he'd either start on the bench or not play, just because he had a bit of a knock. Because I think he looked like impact. I think he might get risked because it's a final, and he's done that before.
Play him Sunday.
Don't play him FA Cup.
Yeah, don't play him in the FA Cup, and if it needs another couple of days, don't play him against Liverpool, because I think Garnacho has a go at them. No chance. If I want Rashford for Liverpool. Yeah, I want him for Liverpool, but if it means miss this one, finish the season, sweet. Because we know what playing this guy with injuries does.
You in the comments, do you agree? Do you reckon? Would you be all right with if Rashford's 50-50?
All right, I'll rephrase this. We don't need Rashford to beat Liverpool at the moment.
Okay, no.
Does working with Ronnie make it harder to manage him for Paddock, or does it ever get brought up by the other players?
It doesn't. It makes it easier for him, I think because I work with him, I feel like he thinks he can make tougher decisions against me because I'm around him more. I'm more mates with him than the rest of the people. So I think it actually works against me, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what, though? I had to go to the media team. It was a 100% true story. I had to go to the media team, right, because they censored an argument between us in the dressing room the other week. And I've never asked anyone to do that. I've never said, oh, don't put that in, don't put this in. The only thing I ever say don't put in is our tactics in too much depth. So they took out our an argument that we had at half time of a friendly. It was as well, actually.
Yeah.
But I don't mind having players have a bite back if they believe in something. But Ronnie was wrong on that occasion, and he knows he was wrong on that occasion, and he jumped the gun. Yeah, and I think it would have been a good thing to leave in. Yeah,
because that happens a lot though in dressing rooms. I remember stuff like that happening. It usually wasn't me, to be fair, but there is quite a lot of verbal bust-ups, and usually between players themselves, actually. I don't think there's enough of that in our team, but it's just basically demand, really. And if that's not happening in the dressing room, it means that people don't care enough. And that's also one thing that I've started to notice with United in general, because before this season, when did you see so much celebration for block tackles, blocks, last-ditch clearances? It's brilliant.
I loved the celebrations leaving the pitch last night. I loved how much... What Casemiro and Varane have achieved, it looks like they've won nothing. The way they're celebrating, this isn't two players that have done the lot.
They're both won the World Cup.
Yeah, and like two lads that you think were coming here just for a bit of a payday, there was a suspicion of that, at least at some point. How do we get both of these lot for less than 100 mil?
It's insane.
We paid a little bit too much for Casemiro, but we robbed him for Varane.
Yeah, we did. 30 mil.
So when you just put them both together, you go, okay, 100 mil for those two. What a bargain. What a bargain.
30 mil for a 28-year-old Varane, was he? That's basically buying him in his prime. I know. It's actually Real Madrid. They've helped us out there, you know.
I've said this a few times about Real Madrid, and they got the likes of Robben out of Real Madrid, and I think Schneider also left Real Madrid at great times, because they love a shiny thing. That you can get a shiny thing out of them. Because they'll always find the new toy to come and play with. And
Real Madrid are the one club in world football really that doesn't see anyone on par with them. So I think they're willing to sell to any club but Barcelona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they're not going to be thinking, I'm not going to give this player to Chelsea because they're a threat, or to City because they're a threat. They just see it as, we've got like a plethora of great players. If you want one of them and you're willing to pay a decent price, then fine, because we're Real Madrid and we can more than likely replace him with anyone in the world, because we've got enough money to do that.
Yep.
And nearly every single player in Europe sees Real Madrid as the pinnacle of world football in terms of playing for him.
But they also sell all the time. And they sell good players before their prime as well sometimes. Not always, but they're certainly not Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get a player out of Bayern Munich unless Bayern Munich decide. Whereas Real Madrid, they do offload some good players before they're completely done, because the fact that they want to sign so many shiny players. Chelsea will be the same soon. Chelsea will have some good players that are leaving them that you can get hold of at good money because they just need to sell.
Yeah, it's true. People have been teasing the whole Modric to United in the summer on a 3.
I wouldn't.
Because his contract's up. He's like 38.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't go down.
as nice as it sounds,
I mean, he's still balling out.
But I think it's too old. It's mad though, because obviously it was better for his career. He had an amazing career for Real Madrid, and he's won, and he's been a great player for Croatia as well in probably their kind of golden era. You not think?
Did we just miss a Fergal's super chat again? Just scroll up a sec.
Nah.
Oh no, we already covered that one. Didn't we? So Zachary Purvis has just one in there and says, "This manager, this team, I'm loving this team again. We are the best team in Europe." Okay, but I'd be a bit early. But you can make the case because we've won more games than anybody else in Europe.
Yeah, no one's won more games than us, and we're having one of those.
No one's won as many either.
You know why we need to win a trophy, because we don't want to have the Scouser season.
No.
No one said we're gonna get the quadruple. We're played in every single game.
We played in every game. What a parade!
Yeah.
But on the win percentage stuff for Ten Hag, right? So when you line him up to some of the other greats, now Sir Matt Busby took over post-war.
I don't like win percentage. I've told you that ages about managers. That's not the best metric to.
No, it is a semi-useful one.
It's points
but
per
also,
game. Points,
yeah. But even that, it's not far off that, really. I know you're picking up more draws, and obviously it counts draws and losses in there too.
Yeah.
But even when you just take into account, you have to take into account what the club was when Sir Alex Ferguson took it over, what it was in that first transitional period. So from 86 to 90, Fergie was coming 11th and 13th.
Yeah, that comparison, what I'm saying is, you agree, because obviously you can't compare Ten Hag's win percentage to Sir Alex's.
No, because when you throw Moyes in the mix, Moyes is like our second or third best manager.
Nah, it's not even that. It's the fact that how many games has Ten Hag managed compared to Fergie?
Oh, yeah. So I mean, like, him winning or losing a game literally moves it 1% up or down.
That's why points per game, even though it's not a perfect metric, it's 10 times better than win percentage for a match.
As it stands, Ten Hag's 74 win percentage. It's not going to stay that, but Jesus Christ, if it stays in the high 60s, he's
74% after that dodgy start at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's actually, do you know what? But we're not even talking about, it's eye test for me. We look like a team progressing, gelling more. We look unified. Everyone's bought in. I think we look like we could potentially be scary if we keep this up, especially if we have a good summer. If we have a good summer...
Good summer relies on good owners, doesn't it? And at the minute, it's a lottery.
It's true, but I think a good summer, a pre-season with Ten Hag with players he wants, I think we go into next season and there should be no reason why we shouldn't win everything that we're in. And I feel like we should... We've shown this season that we're good enough. Probably a season away. Next season, we're good enough to compete for the title, I think.
We're better now than what Arsenal were last year. And Arsenal might win the title this year. I think if you get... Mate, I don't think you're gonna, but if you got players that were the equal of Martinez and Casemiro in terms of signings in the striking position, and maybe somewhere else a bit of depth, maybe an 8, let's just for argument's sake say you managed to pull off a Bellingham or an Osherman as your two signings, and they were as good as them two have been. Yeah, book everything.
I knew you wouldn't say Kane. The thing is, we spent 220 mil, was it that, in the summer?
Yeah, it was a spendy summer.
And without much going the other way. I think this summer we'll have a lot more outgoings. And I think with the outgoings, we could probably spend, probably not that much, depends on the owners, we have a similar amount. I think Bellingham and Osimhen would take up that amount by themselves.
Sorry, I need to get this.
Which is an issue.
Read the comments.
Alright, read the comments. Alright, it's a solo on me. Solo on me, Josh. Can we get a poll up? I want to get a poll up. Basically, the question is, for you watching, is United right now the best? I'm not talking about what we've won, etc. When you're visually watching us, is this the best you've seen United since Fergie? I want to poll Josh so that people can actually answer it.
Before you do that, I want to talk to you about your balls. Take it away. If you're looking to upgrade your hygiene and grooming routine, meet Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming and experts in men's hair removal. With the exclusive offer for our listeners, you can join 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped to feel their best. Just go to manscaped.com and use the code XG20 for 20% off and free shipping. The Platinum Package 4.0 is the ultimate grooming set, complete with the Lawnmower 4.0, a trimmer with ceramic blade and skin-safe technology to reduce cuts and nicks on your delicate parts. Also comes equipped with a 4000K LED spotlight, making it easy to groom even in low light. The Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer is perfect for those pesky nose hairs and also features skin-safe technology. Plus, don't forget to apply Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver for a boost of confidence. This package also includes a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, body wash, deodorant, and free gifts such as the Shed travel bag and the anti-chafing boxer briefs. These products are perfect for post-workout sessions or everyday use. Take advantage of Manscaped's best value bundle and save 20% off and free shipping with the code XG20 at manscaped.com. It's time to level up and fully align your hygiene routine with the most stylish and premium grooming products out there. Save and shave with Manscaped today.
I was going to say Mourinho's probably the only one. That's probably... We had a decent period, and obviously we won a trophy, but we never actually looked this good.
Yeah,
visually.
Yeah, it was a lot of backs to the wall stuff, which still counts. If we'd have won a title under him, it still counted. It absolutely still counted. But there's a pride in going to the new camp and putting it on Barcelona and getting results that way as well. And I think there's maybe more of a thing in that. Car trouble, right? I'll tell you. So I crashed my car a couple of weeks ago. And for those asking why we've not been to the aquarium, that's why, because that was the day. So we're going to have to try and...
It was meant to be an alternate plan, though. There was something else Janine mentioned that sounded fun.
I still want to do the aquarium, so don't worry about that.
Are we doing a museum as well? Was it
maybe. So I crashed my car, and then I had to get my courtesy car, which has took me out of work a couple of times. I had to stay at home yesterday as he was bringing me my car back and collecting the courtesy car. I got in my car, drove 1 mile, and it conked out. And I was like, rang them back up again. I was like, you need to come get this. So they've just phoned me now and said they're going to come and drop my car off. So I'm probably going to have to wrap this up in a few minutes to go and get it. But yeah, this is the... How long is that going to take you? Not that long. I'm just going to whiz it around the block, make sure the same thing that happened on it yesterday doesn't happen, and I'll throw it back in the car park and jobs are good. What you guys saying in the comments? So yeah, Ten Hag at 74%, Jose Mourinho at 58%, Sir Alex 60%. I mean,
and obviously,
I don't think he's ever going to touch Sir Alex. What does he need to do to join Sir Alex and Sir Matt on that level?
Jesus, I don't know if he can. If I'm honest,
that's it. Big call.
I don't think he can, but if he can get close to.
For a ride,
I don't think every manager we get, we should be comparing them to Fergie. That's why I said best since. I would never say better than, because it's almost like it's an unrealistic ceiling at some point. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like to aim for that is a better thing than not to aim for it.
Trophies, quadruple, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, you're looking at. Yeah, Brian Casey says, it needs 15 years at the club. If he does 15 years at the club, there's multiple titles in that.
He needs to be winning multiple. Do you know what I mean, Andy?
Multiple, retaining them. Maybe pick up a couple of European Cups as well. If he does like 5 leagues, 2 European Cups in 10 years.
It's true, but how often do managers at this day and age stay for that long?
Nah, but that was the case when Fergie arrived. That was the case when Fergie arrived. He was meant to be going in 90.
Does anyone know the longest tenured football manager right now in the top 5 leagues at a club? Because that would be an interesting fact for me to know. If I wasn't on here, I'd Google it, because
I've been watching that Dorking Wanderers, bunch of amateurs lately. It's well good. So they started at level 18 of English football. They're currently at level 5. They're 13 promotions.
Okay, yeah.
Mental. They're in the conference.
So you're putting him up there? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, man's done it without like mega backing. That's still wild, isn't it? That's a wild achievement.
Yeah.
Because I think he's been doing it 21 years or 22 years. So, same guy.
Jeez. There's got to be something in giving someone time. Because obviously someone's put in there saying that Guardiola's been here at City for 7 years.
Simeone's done 12.
Simeone's done 12.
I wouldn't be surprised if Simeone's the longest.
Simeone might be the longest then. Because I think owners nowadays have got a very, very, very quick trigger. And I think I was going to say Jurgen.
Jelani there says
Jurgen
the main
Klopp.
reason why I wasn't understanding the backing of Ollie even after the second, the eye test was night and day. Okay, I'll give you that. The eye test with Ollie, it wasn't perfect, but we literally saw more 5-0 plus victories in Ollie's tenure than the previous 3. We went on some crazy runs. We tactically outsmarted the likes of City. And I'll tell you this, when Harry Maguire, Fred and McTominay play under Eric Ten Hag, do we look like we know how to play out the back? So all I'm saying is if you'd have give Ollie a Casemiro and a Martinez, would it have looked different?
I don't know. I think there's something very, very, very different about Ten Hag compared to the managers that we had recently, and that includes Ollie. I don't think Ollie's anywhere near as steely.
Aaron says Ollie had us playing off vibes. No, he didn't.
Let me nip this in the bud. I'm not having the comparison of Ollie and Ten Hag as managers in terms of from a tactical standpoint. Ten Hag has much more pedigree anyway, and there's a steeliness about Ten Hag that Ollie didn't have. So I don't think there's a comparison. As much as you love Ollie, I don't think you can compare him.
I think he's suffering by revisionism here in a big way. People are forgetting the things that he definitely achieved and pretending that he didn't achieve them. It's mental.
Nah, we can accept that, but you can't overrate him, do you know what I mean? But it can't be. I'm not sure there's a fair comparison there between the two. Obviously,
right, I need to go and get my car anyway, so let's wrap it up. Nice and short and sweet one. We are playing a Premier League 11 tomorrow in Wythenshawe. If you want to get a bit of football taste, there will be some ex-United players involved as well. If you would like to come down and watch Paddock, we're playing at Manchester Enterprise Academy in Wythenshawe. Kickoff is 2:00. It is FOC, free of charge.